The Meditations of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius is one of the most cherished and widely read self-help classics of all time. His personal reflections contain a lot of good advice based on the ancient Stoic philosophy that he followed. Through my experience, I've noticed that while many people are fond of the Meditations, they often find it challenging to apply Marcus Aurelius's psychological insights in their daily lives. So in this video, I will explain 3 of the most simple and practical Stoic exercises that you'll find within the pages of the Meditations. Let us begin. One, living in accord with virtue. The core strategy employed by Marcus Aurelius and a central tenet of Stoic philosophy is the idea that the ultimate aim of life is to live in harmony with nature. This concept, however, isn't about literal interactions with nature like hugging trees. Instead, Stoicism posits that our capacity for rational thought fundamentally defines our human nature. Consequently, the Stoics' objective is to live a life guided by reason. The term philosophy itself, derived from Greek, translates to the love of wisdom. Thus, Stoicism, as a life philosophy, emphasizes the active pursuit of living wisely. For the Stoics, reason is not just an intellectual exercise, but the bedrock upon which all other virtues are built and nurtured. Easier said than done, right? What matters most, though, is the intention to be guided consistently by your better wisdom. Aurelius consistently evaluated his actions and thoughts to see whether they were in alignment with reason and his core values. Possibly multiple times each day, he often introspected on whether his behaviors or even mental processes were essential for someone striving to live in harmony with rational principles. He believed that upon closer examination, many of our internal dialogues and external actions are in fact extraneous. According to him, these superfluous elements distract us from our true purpose in life. There are interesting variations of this technique in the Meditations that asks us to pause and ask ourselves of any action and how it reflects on our character. For example, am I acting like a wise sage right now, or like a childish, foolish, or vicious person? We're to ask ourselves what the likely consequences of our actions are and whether we might regret them later. Perhaps the most dramatic version advises us to radically question the importance of what we're seeking. On the occasion of every individual thing that you do, pause and ask yourself if death is a dreadful thing because it deprives you of this. Marcus Aurelius. Are you afraid of dying because you'll miss an episode of your favorite soap opera, or because you'll not be able to go on Facebook anymore? Presumably not, right? It's another way of asking, is what I'm doing at this moment genuinely enhancing my life? It prompts us to consider the ultimate significance of these activities. Practicing this form of self-discipline is profound and often demands sacrifices, such as relinquishing desires that, though appealing, don't hold much importance in the bigger picture. It involves a deliberate pruning process, where you cease engaging in activities that might seem enticing but don't benefit you in the long term. 2. Suspending judgment. Living consistently in accord with wisdom and our core values and fulfilling our fundamental goal in life is a tall order, isn't it? The 2 biggest obstacles, arguably, are fear and craving. Replacing these with more rational and healthy emotions was the basis of what's sometimes called the ancient Stoic therapy of the passions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, the leading evidence-based form of modern psychotherapy, was originally inspired by Stoicism. Albert Ellis, the New York psychotherapist who developed the earliest form of CBT in the 1950s, used to teach a quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus to most of his students and therapy clients. Quotes like, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them," were his favorite. So, the foundation of Stoic therapy lies in the skill of withholding our value judgments, recognizing that good or bad is a product of our mindset. As famously quoted, "Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so." This principle mainly applies to external circumstances. For Stoics, the real measure of good or bad is not what occurs to us, but how we choose to react to it. Marcus Aurelius often reiterated this to himself, aiming to keep a balanced cognitive detachment from an adaptability towards external happenings. 3. The view from above. Lastly, we come to one of the most striking contemplative exercises found in the Meditations, often referred to as the view from above. Here, Aurelius made several references, especially toward the end of the book. He who is discoursing about men should look also at earthly things as if he viewed them from some higher place. He should look at them in their assemblies, armies, agricultural labors, marriages, treaties, births, deaths, noise of the courts of justice, desert places, various nations of barbarians, feasts, lamentations, markets, a mixture of all things and an orderly combination of contraries. This exercise involves visualizing your life as though seen from high above. The obvious analogy, from Greek mythology, with the perspective of Zeus looking down on mortals from atop Mount Olympus. At their core, Stoics held the belief that truth is found in the complete picture. When we neglect this and selectively perceive events, we remove them from their context, exaggerating their importance in a manner that leads to emotional distress and confusion. This selective focus could be seen as a sort of lie of omission that we tell ourselves. In opposition to this, expanding our viewpoint, both temporally and spatially, enables us to view things in a more objective light. Modern psychologists understand that intense emotions like fear and anger lead individuals to constrict their focus, paying more selective attention to the things that disturb them. In the context of anxiety, this is referred to as threat monitoring. While this response likely had an evolutionary advantage, it comes with a significant cost. Without mindfulness, we risk losing perspective and falling into a sort of tunnel vision regarding life's challenges. In contrast, the Stoics recognize that true wisdom lies in perceiving the broader context of situations. In conclusion, embracing the principles of living in accordance with virtue, suspending judgment, and adopting a broader perspective, or the view from above, stand out as three crucial and foundational aspects of Stoicism. Incorporating these practices into daily life can lay a strong groundwork for anyone seeking to cultivate Stoicism as a life philosophy. Regularly applying these tenets not only aligns one with the core values of Stoicism, but also fosters a more balanced, resilient, and wise approach to life's challenges and experiences. This daily commitment to Stoic principles can significantly aid in personal development and contribute to a more harmonious and fulfilling life journey. 80.